Gentlemen, my name is Dr. Emily Carter. With more than 10 years of experience in the field of urology and a specialization in male functional rehabilitation for men over the age of 50, I have witnessed thousands of cases facing the same problem, one that severely undermines confidence. Today, I want us to confront head-on a reality that many people still misunderstand. Have you ever wondered why you can start off full of excitement, achieve a strong erection just as expected, only to suddenly lose it after just a few short minutes right in the middle of intimacy? That sense of disappointment, the embarrassment when your performance fades at the very moment it is needed most, often leads men to blame many different causes. We commonly assume it's due to poor blood circulation, declining testosterone levels, or we simply accept it as an inevitable consequence of aging. However, as a specialist, I am here to tell you this. The problem is usually not the blood, not the hormones, and certainly not entirely your age. Scientific evidence, based on the latest clinical research, shows that the real culprit lies in two specific muscle groups located at the base of the male organ. These muscles have stopped performing their job effectively. Let me explain this in simple terms. Achieving an initial erection only requires blood to flow in, but maintaining that firmness requires a mechanism that traps the blood inside. When these two muscles, known as the Ischiocavernosus and bulbospongiosus muscles, become weak or atrophied, they are no longer able to contract with enough force to compress the veins that drain blood away. And what happens then? Blood still flows in, but it immediately leaks back out. You lose firmness precisely when you need endurance the most. Research has clearly demonstrated that men who are able to maintain strong, lasting performance share one defining trait: exceptionally strong pelvic floor muscles. These muscles contract powerfully and completely automatically during arousal, generating internal pressure, intracavernosal pressure, that can exceed their own systolic blood pressure. It is this enormous pressure that acts as a biological lock, trapping blood inside and creating maximum rigidity, stable even under movement or stimulation. In contrast, men who experience performance loss after just 2 minutes often show degeneration of these muscle groups over time due to sedentary lifestyles or reduced muscle protein synthesis after the age of 50. These muscles no longer respond automatically, leaving the blood retention valve permanently open. But this is why I want you to feel optimistic. These muscle groups are skeletal muscles and are under your voluntary control. That means, just like your biceps or chest muscles, they can be trained to become strong again. Science has proven that through the right rehabilitation techniques, you can reestablish this automatic contraction mechanism, restore firmness, and most importantly, regain the confidence you've lost. In the following sections, I will break down the biological mechanisms in detail and share a clear roadmap to help you retrain these silent saviors of male performance. Remember this: your body is still working properly. It simply needs guidance to reactivate the right components. Now let's dive deeper into the science to understand why these two small muscle groups hold the key to male performance. To maintain firmness, your body must carry out a complex biological task, not only allowing blood to flow in, but more importantly, keeping that blood trapped inside. This is precisely where the Ischiocavernosus and bulbospongiosus muscles become more critical than ever. Let's start with the Ischiocavernosus muscle. This muscle group runs along both sides of the base of the male organ. Research shows that when this muscle contracts powerfully, it compresses the corpus cavernosum directly against the pubic bone. The compressed area accounts for approximately 35.6% to 55.9% of the total volume of the corpus cavernosum. When this compression occurs with sufficient intensity, it creates a phenomenon known as extremely high intracavernosal pressure, or suprasystolic pressure. To put this into perspective, this pressure exceeds your normal systolic blood pressure and, during maximal contraction, can sometimes reach hundreds of mmHg. This super-level pressure serves two vital functions. First, it tightly closes the veins responsible for draining blood away, effectively blocking venous outflow entirely. Second, it acts like a high-pressure pump, forcing additional blood into the distal portions of the tissue and producing the maximum rigidity often described as rock hard. Next is the bulbospongiosus muscle. This muscle group surrounds the bulb of the urethra and is responsible for compressing the deep dorsal vein, the primary outflow pathway of the erectile system. When sexual arousal occurs, The rise in intracavernosal pressure and the reduction in venous outflow happen simultaneously, driven by the coordinated contraction of these muscles. This is the critical distinction. You can reach a tumescent state, meaning partially firm or mildly erect through blood inflow alone. But to reach the true rigid phase and to maintain stability even during movement or intense stimulation, contraction of the pelvic floor muscles is absolutely required. In men who can maintain performance throughout the night, these muscles function like an automatic system, contracting powerfully to keep blood trapped inside. In contrast, when these muscles weaken or atrophy after the age of 50, they no longer have the strength to close the valve. The result is that whatever blood flows in immediately leaks back out through veins that are no longer firmly compressed. You may feel as though you start off strong, but firmness fades within minutes because this blood retention mechanism has failed. Understanding this mechanism is the first step toward regaining control. Instead of worrying about factors beyond your reach, you should focus on restoring strength to these skeletal muscle fiber structures that are fully under your voluntary control. In the next section, I will explain why these muscles weaken and how we can begin the process of rebuilding them. Gentlemen, my name is Dr. Emily Carter. Now that we've understood the power of intracavernosal pressure and the role of these two golden muscle groups, you're probably asking yourself, why is this happening to me now? Why did everything work naturally in my 20 seconds but feels so difficult today? To answer that question, we need to look honestly at what is truly happening inside your body after the age of 50. Think back to your 20 seconds and 30 seconds. At that time, your Ischiocavernosus and bulbospongiosus muscles were strong and highly responsive. They functioned completely automatically at the first sign of arousal. They contracted powerfully without any conscious effort or thought on your part. After the age of 50, however, a systemic shift begins to occur, causing these muscle groups to weaken significantly. The first and most common cause is a decline in testosterone. This is not just an issue of libido. Testosterone plays a critical role in maintaining muscle mass and muscle protein synthesis. When hormone levels drop, the body's ability to preserve muscle tissue declines as well, leading to muscle atrophy. The second factor is a sedentary lifestyle. Pelvic floor muscles are no different from any other skeletal muscles in the body, such as the biceps or thigh muscles. They follow a strict biological rule: use it or lose it. If these muscles are not regularly activated or trained, they gradually lose tone, shrink in size, and no longer possess the strength required to perform their crucial blood retention function. Another factor that is often overlooked is prostate enlargement. This condition can cause chronic pelvic congestion, interfering with the normal function of surrounding muscles. Additionally, years of excessive straining during urination or bowel movements can place repeated stress on and damage the pudendal nerve, the electrical wiring that delivers signals to your pelvic floor muscles. When this nerve weakens, the automatic contraction signals during arousal become disrupted. So what is the result of all these factors? When intimacy begins, blood can still flow in and create initial firmness. But because these muscle groups are now too weak or no longer respond automatically, they fail to tightly close the veins. Blood enters but quickly leaks back out through inadequately compressed veins, causing you to lose firmness after just a few short minutes. But I want you to remember some good news from a medical standpoint. These muscles are skeletal muscles under your voluntary control. This means they are not like the heart muscle or the smooth muscles of blood vessels, which operate beyond conscious control. You have the power to rebuild their strength through proper rehabilitation exercises. Don't be overly concerned about your age. Research has shown that even at 60 or 70 years old, these muscle fibers can still respond and grow when stimulated using the correct methods. In the next section, I will show you undeniable evidence from clinical trials proving just how powerful and effective retraining these muscle groups can truly be. To further strengthen your confidence, I don't want us to stop at theory alone. As a physician, I believe in numbers and in undeniable laboratory evidence. I want to share with you findings from large-scale clinical trials that clearly demonstrate pelvic floor muscle training is not a trick or shortcut, but a scientific process capable of restoring male biological strength. Let's begin with a landmark study conducted at Somerset Enfield Hospital. Researchers followed 55 men with an average age of 59.2 who were experiencing performance challenges. They were divided into two groups. One group performed pelvic floor muscle exercises combined with biofeedback, while the other group received lifestyle advice only. The results after just 3 months were truly remarkable. The exercise group showed an improvement of 6.74 points on the IEF functional scale, a change with extremely strong statistical significance. By the 6th month, the improvement reached 9.88 points. Most strikingly, when the control group, who had initially received only lifestyle advice, later began pelvic floor muscle training, they immediately improved by 10.94 points as well. This confirms a powerful truth. Regardless of who you are, once you train the correct muscle groups, results follow. In addition, a systematic review analyzing 10 different clinical trials worldwide reached a consistent conclusion. Across all measurements, pelvic floor muscle training consistently produced positive response rates and meaningful improvements in quality of life for men. The specific protocol used was not the determining factor. As long as the Ischiocavernosus and bulbospongiosus muscles were properly targeted, improvement was inevitable. Why are these numbers so impressive? Because strengthening these muscles directly leads to an increase in intracavernosal pressure. Another study showed that after 20 rehabilitation sessions, maximum intracavernosal pressure increased by 87% to 99%. In practical terms, this means these men nearly doubled their ability to trap blood, allowing them to achieve maximum rigidity and sustain it more reliably than ever before. Clinical trials also revealed a crucial detail regarding training posture. In a study involving 97 men, those who performed the exercises in a standing position achieved significantly better outcomes than those who trained lying down. Why? Because standing more closely mimics real-life conditions during intimacy and introduces gravitational load, forcing the muscles to work at a higher intensity. Finally, I want you to pay attention to the recovery timeline documented in these reports. One of the earliest signs of success noticed by many men after just 1 to 4 weeks of training is the return of nocturnal firmness, nocturnal responses. This is clear evidence that your muscle fibers are beginning to reactivate and regain their automatic tone. These findings are not isolated cases. They represent consistent, reproducible science across multiple research teams worldwide. They prove that your problem has a real, practical solution grounded in solid medical evidence. In the next section, I will show you how to apply these findings in real life through a rapid activation protocol that takes just 60 seconds. Gentlemen, my name is Dr. Emily Carter. After seeing the irrefutable evidence from laboratory research, you're probably eager to know, so what should I do right now to change this? The answer lies in a process I call the 60-second activation protocol. This is not a long-term workout, but a priming technique designed to prepare your muscles to perform their blood-locking function immediately when needed. One important note: this protocol must be performed before intimacy begins, not during it. You are preparing the muscles to contract powerfully at the most critical moment. Let's go through these 3 simple steps together. Step 1. Identify the muscles 10 seconds. Sit or stand comfortably. Tighten the muscles you would normally use to stop urination midstream. You should feel a lifting and tightening sensation at the base of the male organ and throughout the pelvic floor. These are the Ischiocavernosus muscles running along both sides and the bulbospongiosus muscles surrounding the urethral bulb that we discussed earlier. Step 2. Maximum contraction, 30 seconds. Now, contract these muscles as strongly as you possibly can. Hold the maximum contraction for 5 seconds. A small but important tip: do not hold your breath, breathe normally. Then fully relax for 3 seconds. Repeat this cycle a total of 4 times. Research shows that maximal contractions combined with short rest intervals are the most effective way to generate peak muscle strength. Step 3. Rapid pulses, 20 seconds. Finally, perform fast contraction-release cycles. Contract quickly and release immediately. Aim for 20 to 25 rapid repetitions as fast as possible while maintaining correct muscle engagement. These rapid pulses train the fast-twitch muscle fibers, which are responsible for generating the extreme peaks of intracavernosal pressure during intimacy. So why is this 60-second protocol so effective? In medicine, we call this phenomenon post-activation potentiation, PAP. By performing high-intensity contractions beforehand, your muscles become more sensitive, capable of producing greater force, and more likely to respond automatically for the next 15 to 20 minutes. When arousal occurs within this golden window, The primed muscles close the venous valves more tightly, trapping blood far more effectively than usual. I once treated a 64-year-old patient who consistently lost firmness after just 2 to 3 minutes. After applying this 60-second protocol immediately before intimacy, he was able to maintain firmness throughout the entire encounter. He told me, "I can't believe that 60 seconds of contractions made such a huge difference. It worked the very first time, unlike supplements that take weeks to show any effect." This is the power of biomechanics. You are directly controlling the muscles responsible for blood retention. However, to achieve lasting results and turn this improvement into a permanent state, we need a daily training program to build a strong, muscular foundation. That is exactly what I will share with you in the next section. Gentlemen, my name is Dr. Emily Carter. While the 60-second protocol I just shared can deliver immediate results through the phenomenon known as post-activation potentiation, I want you to understand one important truth. To achieve lasting and sustainable performance, you cannot rely solely on priming your muscles right before intimacy. That protocol works best only when your muscles are already supported by a solid foundation of strength built through daily training. That's why, in this section, I will guide you in setting up a long-term training program that takes just 5 minutes a day. This is the roadmap to transforming weak muscle fibers into strong ones and reclaiming your confidence permanently. The 5-minute morning training routine. Every morning, dedicate exactly 5 minutes to the following sequence, designed to optimize both endurance and explosive strength of the pelvic floor muscles. 1. Endurance building phase, 3 sets. Perform 10 contractions per set. For each repetition, hold a maximum contraction for 8 to 10 seconds, then fully relax for 5 seconds before repeating. These long holds target slow-twitch muscle fibers, which are responsible for maintaining stable firmness over extended periods. 2. Rapid response training phase, 3 sets. Perform 20 fast pulses, quick contract, and immediate release per set, resting 10 seconds between sets. This phase trains both your nervous system and muscles to respond quickly and efficiently to stimulation. Advanced techniques to accelerate results. To achieve optimal results, I want you to focus on 3 core factors that have been validated in clinical trials. Standing posture is the key. A study involving 97 men recovering from surgery showed that those who trained in a standing position achieved significantly better recovery outcomes than those training while lying down. Standing increases gravitational load on the pelvic floor and more accurately mimics real-life conditions during intimacy. Progressive overload principle. Do not stay at a single intensity level. Start with 5-second holds, then gradually increase to 8 seconds and 10 seconds as your muscles grow stronger. You may also increase repetitions from 10 to 15 per set after a few weeks. Training frequency. A study comparing 3 sets per day versus 6 sets per day found that the group performing 6 sets spread throughout the day achieved faster and significantly better results. If possible, integrate these contractions into daily routines, such as while waiting for coffee or brushing your teeth. Recovery timeline. What should you expect? Consistency is the deciding factor. Based on clinical data, here is the typical timeline you can expect. Weeks 1-2. The earliest sign of success is often the return of nighttime or morning firmness. This indicates that the muscle fibers are beginning to regain automatic tone. Weeks 3-6. You will notice stronger contractions and begin to experience early improvements in your ability to maintain performance. Week 6-12. This is the breakthrough phase. Most men achieve improvements of 6 to 11 points on clinical functional scales. Research shows that after 12 weeks of consistent training, intracavernosal pressure can increase by 87% to 99%. I want to emphasize this clearly. Commit to this program for at least 12 weeks. Do not judge results after just 2 weeks and give up early, because real biological changes in skeletal muscle require time to restructure and grow stronger. You possess muscle groups that are fully under your voluntary control, and with proper training, your body is entirely capable of restoring peak performance. Gentlemen, my name is Dr. Emily Carter. Throughout the previous sections, we've uncovered the secret behind the power of the pelvic floor muscles. However, as a physician, I must warn you that even the best methods will fail if they are not performed correctly. In this final section, I want to highlight the common mistakes that can hinder your progress, as well as the lifestyle factors that help optimize long-term sustainable results. Common training mistakes to avoid. The first reason many men fail to see results is activating the wrong muscle groups. Instead of engaging the pelvic floor, they tense the abdominal muscles, glutes, or thighs. To correct this, place a finger on the perineum, the area between the scrotum and the anus. You should feel a distinct lifting and tightening sensation in that specific area, not in the abdomen or thighs. The second mistake is insufficient training intensity. Half-hearted contractions produce minimal results. If you do not feel muscle fatigue after 3 sets, it means you are not contracting forcefully enough. Remember, this is strength training. Each contraction must be performed with maximum effort. The third mistake is inconsistent training and giving up too early. Many men train for a few days, then stop or quit after just 2 weeks because they don't see dramatic changes. Science shows that the most significant improvements typically occur between weeks 6 and 12, not within the first 2 weeks. Finally, do not make the mistake of relying solely on the 60-second activation protocol before intimacy while neglecting daily training. The rapid activation technique is most effective only when your muscles have already been built on a solid foundation of strength. Lifestyle factors that support peak performance. To support muscle training, lifestyle factors act as the fuel that accelerates recovery and enhances results. Aerobic exercise. Studies show that men who combine aerobic activities such as brisk walking or swimming for 30 minutes, 3-4 times per week with pelvic floor training, achieve significantly better results. Weight management. Excess abdominal fat places pressure on the pelvic region. Losing just 5% to 10% of body weight can lead to meaningful improvements. Quality sleep and stress reduction. Muscles recover and grow primarily during deep sleep, ideally 7 to 9 hours per night. Chronic stress increases cortisol levels, which interferes with muscle protein synthesis. Smoking cessation. Smoking damages blood vessels and reduces oxygen delivery to muscle tissue, significantly undermining your training efforts. A final message from Dr. Emily Carter. The difference between a man who can maintain performance throughout the night and one who loses firmness after just 2 minutes is not genetics or luck. It is the strength and activation of the pelvic floor muscles. Your body is still functioning well. And because these are skeletal muscles under your voluntary control, you have the power to reclaim your performance. Commit to the 12-week program starting today, stay consistent, and you will see how science can bring remarkable change to your life.